Jaya Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhara Jaya Giridhara Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhara Jaya Yashodanandana Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Mataji Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So we will start the Bhagavatam session. I have been instructed to discuss on 43rd shloka, 28th chapter, 3rd canto. So we'll start shortly. Yes. Hare Krishna. I'm just projecting on the screen. Hare Krishna. So 43rd shloka 20, chapter 3rd canto. Atmasargam tayam kayam pitara pratipedire sadhyabhyascha pratyubhyascha kavayo yadvit tanvate. What meaning? They, Atmasargam, source of their existence. Tam, that, Kayam, body, Pitaraha, the Pitas, Pratipedire, accepted, Sadhyabhyaha, to the Sadhyas, Cha, and Pitrubhya, to the Pitas, Cha, also, Kavaya, those well versed in rituals, yet through which Vitanvate offer oblations. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. The Pitas themselves took possession of the invisible body and the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the sadhyas and pitas in the form of their departed ancestor on the occasion of Shraddha, purport by Prabhupada. Shraddha is a ritualistic performance observed by followers of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days when ritualistic religionists follow the principles of offering oblations to the departed soul. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who by freak of nature might not have gross body for material element can again gain such a body due to the offerings of Shraddha oblations by their descendants. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations with prasad is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is thus pleased with the devotional service in the descendants by His grace, He liberates the condemned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies, and he favors them to again receive the gross body for development of spiritual advancement. Unfortunately, by influence of Maya, the conditioned soul employs the body he gets for self-gratification, forgetting that such a occupation may lead him to return to the invisible body. The devotees of the Lord or one who is in Krishna consciousness, however, does not need to perform such a ritualistic ceremonies as Shraddha because he is always pleasing the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his father's ancestors who might have been in the difficulty are automatically relieved. The vivid example is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj requested Lord Narasimha to deliver his sinful father who had so many times offended the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord replies that in a family where Vaishnava like Prahlad is born, not only his father but his father's father and their father up to the 14 father back on are all automatically delivered. The conclusion therefore is that Krishna consciousness is sum total of good work for the family, for the society and for all living entities. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that the person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any ritual because he knows that simply by serving the Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Atma sargam tam kayam pitaraha pratipedire sadhyabhyascha pritubhyascha kavayo yadvid tanvate. Hare Krishna. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांस्य श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सागर रघुनाथान्वितं तस्य। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुति देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमो आचार्य पदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौरगता रमदाय नगरग्राम तारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो वागन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामे गौरस्य नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। So this shloka basically this is in third canto 20th chapter. So in the 20th chapter what we are discussing is the conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura, and that is Vidura is asking many very important, very pleasing questions to Maitreya Muni, who is a great soul. And in this particular chapter now, mainly the creations about the by the Lord is described. So although in this chapter or earlier shlokas in this chapter, it's a creation of by Brahma is described, but ultimately it's a Lord's creation because Brahma also is created by Lord, and Brahma, Lord is a primary creator, Brahma is a secondary creator. So now in this, it's a continuation. Some chapters before this creation was discussed. Then in between there was the pastimes of the Lord in the form of avatar, like it keeps shifting, coming back to creation, explanation in continuation. So here Maitreya Muni is explaining, and basically in this chapter starts with Sutta Goswami explaining to Shauna, because this is described in Bhagavatam, which is originally between Shukadeva Goswami and the Parikshit. Shukadeva, Sutta Goswami was part of presence there, like audience, and then he is describing in turn to another Rishis. And basically, it's a Maitreya and Vidura's Muni's conversation on the creation. So this is a background, and it's being discussed. So earlier shlokas to this shloka, like Brahma is creating various entities, and he's rejecting various types of his impure bodies. Say for example, ignorance he's rejecting, and Rakshasas are coming out. Brahma creates demons from his buttocks, and they get attracted to Brahma for further this thing, and somehow Brahma saves him by taking duration of Lord. Shining moonlight gives rise to Gandharvas. Laziness gives rise to ghosts. And this shloka, like subtle body, he rejects, and Pitras and Sadhyas. So this is a shloka. So we are Pitras. Pitras basically are the Pitras means our ancestors, forefathers. Pitru, Putra. Putra means like Putra, who is the son, and Pitras means his fathers and ancestors. So this, we know that, like we do the Shraddha. Coincidentally, current is Pitru Bhaksha going on. That is, Shraddhas are being done. Why Shraddhas are done, we know. Basically, that is to provide some facilities like food and cloths and all that to our forefathers, ancestors, who are still in the form of Pitras. And Pitras and Sadhyas, basically. And they are basically, what is mentioned here is they are basically, they don't have a gross body. So just to give the little bit more information on that, when soul leaves the body, suppose our father ancestors when left the body, we are also going to leave the body. So whenever, so as per Garud Puran, the body leaves, I mean soul leaves the body, and a gross body remains here. That is, gross body means the body made from Panchamahabhutas, all these bone, marrow, blood, and all those. But the subtle body, which is basically mind, intelligence, ego, that is also body. So it's material. So that is mind, intelligence, ego. That is material mind, material intelligence, material ego. That's, I mean, false ego. These are the material subtle body. And there is an original spiritual subtle body also. Like we have got our spiritual mind, intelligence. That is our original. So that's our original soul who is having all this. So that is our original entity, identity. But it is covered by the material intelligence, material mind, false ego. That is subtle body. And gross, and it is further covered by gross body. That is what we see. Okay, ear, eyes, bone, marrow, skin, all this. All this is basically to facilitate living entity to enjoy materially, which is his desire, false desire, due to false ego. So we have been discussing about creation throughout many chapters, many shlokas till date. So why this material creation is so? I just touch upon, because while we sort of understand or release the katha or pastimes of the Lord, we should understand what is the purpose behind each katha or each pastime. There is a purpose, correct? So creation is also pastime of the Lord. In the Bhagavatam, 2-3 places creation is being vividly described. This is also one of the occasion, or in this canto, creation is being discussed. Why? Because we should understand purpose of creation, why we are here, why creation is done, why I am in this creation, what is this? This is a material creation. Why material creation is characterized by Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. It's temporary. Of course, it's not false. It's a temporary creation. Why I have been put into this temporary creation, and why I am suffering. So we have discussed that. I will not again get into detail. Like it is due to our false ego, we want to enjoy this Lord independent. We enjoy the our senses, enjoy independent of Lord. So it has been simulated like as if we feel in this material creation, I am God. That's a false thinking, false sentiments, but it comes that you are false. It's an illusion, it's a Maya, which is not correct. We think like that, but it's not the case. So that's Maya. So this Maya is created by Lord. And that's what we have been discussing. This so and this as a part of process of creation, it comes from like Lord Mahavishnu and then Garbhodakshay Vishnu. He enters into every the Pamakshurodakshay Vishnu and expands. And Brahma comes from his lotus novel and Brahma further creates secondary living entities like Rakshasas, Gandharvas, like all good, bad, pious, all sort of entities, various types of species, animals, birds, everything. That's the whole creation being described. But why it is relevant to us is what we need to understand. Because we should know what is happening around us and what is my duty. What is the real thing? Why I'm here? I should know because I'm suffering. So living entities suffering in the pangs of material nature, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Adi Devati Adi Bhoti Adyati. And we should understand why there is suffering and what is to be done to liberate from this suffering and go to the original constitution spiritual world. That is why we should understand. So creation will give us information about who is Lord, who is creation, what is creation, who is, and how what is the relation between me, Prakriti, and Lord. And then establish that relation, understand it, and then go back to Godhead by getting detached from all this. So that's why it's important to understand what is creation also, and what is my relevance there, what is who is Lord, how He has created. That's why these pastimes are equally potent, equally important, like your Rasa Leela dance of the it's equally important and important. It's not that okay only some pastimes with gopis are important and some fighting in the Mahabharata is only important. It is what is important in creation also, pastimes of Lord. So that is the whole context. So Brahma is creating these secondary living entities, and then this is the process going on. Okay, so now I'll come back to the point here. So basically, when living entity leaves the body, in material world, it's a temporary change of the body. He just changed the machine. Our body is like a machine. Yantra Radhani, like um, um, he's residing in that yantra, that is body. There are 84 lakh types of yantras. Human being are some 4 lakh species throughout the universe, and we are there. We are there. So when he leaves the body, the gross body remains here, subtle body, soul and super soul, all this goes to the next destination, that is next body. So subtle body tend to follow to seek new body, and soul follows subtle body because he is attached to the subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego. And there's a process. He after death, another 13 days, the soul remains on this earth where the death has happened. He remains there. He can see all that. That's a given in Garuda Purana. And then after that, he travels to Yamaloka, where all the account of his karmas will be done, and he'll be further awarded the next body. And after going through proper punishments and all those things are there. It's not part of this discussion. But in that interim period, he may remain with only subtle body. He will not have gross body. That is why pitras are there. So there is a place called where all these pitras are residing in the universe. So there are some planets. Some I have heard some people say it's a moon planet half part, but some people say that pitras are different. But I am not really clear on that. But yes, there are planets. For us, one to understand is there are planets where pitras are like it's like a waiting area before after rejecting first body and next body there is a waiting area on these pitras where they remain there for some year or so waiting for next body to be awarded without the body, and that happens only for some souls who are creating a lot of karmas and they cannot get next body easily, so they have to go through a lot of all this procedure. Anyway, that's a matter of detailing. What is more important is because of our ancestors who could not get body immediately and they are waiting for next body. Till that time, they have to remain in invisible body or like subtle body only. So So obviously they are not, they have got desires say, to eat and all that, but they don't get it easily. So the whole system of Vedic science is basically these descendants like us who are on the earth or earthly planets or wherever. They give the food and some other facilities to them. So this is a Pitru Paksha. So in a year, this Pitru Paksha 15 days has been defined, in which those days, on the day whenever our ancestor has departed, on that day, say maybe Ashtami, Navami, Ekadashi, or Dwadashi, or all that, Panchami, all that, on that particular day, the descendants can offer the various living items, food, through the proper procedure. That procedure is given, and then so they prepare various types of eatables and they offer it to Pitrats, who in turn get this offering in wherever they are in the Pitrulokats, and they get satisfied by eating the food. So it's very like interesting, like modern people, majority people who are not really well versed with Vedic knowledge, and unfortunately they don't know, they don't believe into all this. They may think, oh, how it is, somebody is offering food there, and then somewhere else it is reaching, which is crores of miles away. But we can understand it very easily. I am speaking here and is being heard by all of you, or at, or we send a message and it goes to America, mails easily, or we get radio waves, we get TV signals. So why not this also? It's possible. It's all Lord's creation and it has been perfectly made. When I say perfectly, it's it's perfect in terms of its purpose. So as long as we understand the objective of this creation, or purpose of creation, we'll be placed in a perfect situation. As long as we understand the purpose, as well as we connect with Lord. So in this shloka, basically, the Pitras and all those got created from Brahma's body, and then I mean it's a system, and Vedic rituals, Pitru Paksha, or offering oblations to the Pitras is a Vedic rituals. Vedas are full with rituals also, Upasana, right? We know that. So there are very important point Prabhupada is making. Where he's explaining, okay, this is a Vedic ritual. The most important point what Prabhupada is making is basically, what is the position of devotee? What is the position of devotee when it comes to following these Vedic rituals? Very important. Prabhupada explained very clearly. Prabhupada has given us crystal clear philosophy. So what Prabhupada is telling is Vedic rituals are not binding to devotee. But we have to take it in a very we have to take it in a very proper way. We have to understand that. So Prabhupada is quoting the example of Prahlad Maharaj, who was a very great devotee. He was obviously, son of Hiranyakashipu, who was a demon. Hiranyakashipu was a demon, but Prahlad was a very advanced, very high level devotee. He was like beyond. He is example for all Vaishnavas. He was a highly elevated Vaishnava. So what Prabhupada is mentioning is, if devotees engage in devotional service in full devotion, fully surrendered, then he really doesn't have to bother about Vedic rituals, which is correct. Because why? So if you see, the whole Vedas are meant for satisfying the Lord Vishnu. All rituals, any yajna ritual is ultimately Vishnu is a Vishnu need to be satisfied, and he is the ultimate benefactor of all these results of these fruits of the all yajna. Right? Bhoktaram yajnatavsam sarvaloka mohesh. So Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor of everything, I am the enjoyer of all Vedic sacrifice. So all these rituals or sacrifices are basically ultimately should mean for Vishnu, satisfying the Vishnu. So it's very important. We need to understand. So if somebody is really doing these Vedic rituals in a very mechanical way, first of all, he should have Shraddha. He or she should have Shraddha. Shraddha leads to Shraddha, like that. Shraddha means faith. So if person is not devotee, his faith is not still matured enough to get connected to Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, but at least he should have Shraddha in whatever he is doing in ancestors. So that is very important. So whole Vedic our culture was based on the faith on the Supreme, faith in the ultimate faith in the Supreme, but faith in the demigods, all that, all faith. Okay. So Shraddha leads to Shraddha. So that's very important thing. So he should have faith and he should have that feeling of gratitude towards his ancestors. Why he should have gratitude towards? It's very logical, even in day-to-day life also, even devotee also, or any. We feel gratitude. We are supposed to be very gratitude. I mean, showing the gratitude towards the people who helped us. Suppose my colleague helped us in office, I will feel gratitude. My father and mother gave me birth and they made me educated and gave financial stability and all that. Okay, so I should feel that gratitude towards this my relatives, friends, society, all these things. This is very important. Vedic, so all Vedic culture is based on gratitude. Gratitude towards our relatives, gratitude towards our father, mother, or gratitude towards friends, all. So there are various runa, pitru rune, matru rune, bhu rune. There are various runa. Runa means basically they have done something for us good. We have to in turn, we are indebted to us. We are indebted to them, and we should try to, give it back in whatever form it is possible. At least show the gratitude. So this is the whole culture, right? Very, very beautiful. The Sanatan Dharma is very beautiful culture, right? It's based on the gratitude. So all these sacrifices or all these rituals are all basically to express this gratitude, and there is some purpose behind it. We should understand that. We should not, like a modern demonic people, majority people, not devotees, I'm telling you, demonic materialistic people who doesn't believe. It's very unfortunate, and we should not get confused by this people, because when our faith is very tender in early phase of Krishna consciousness, or even early phase of our starting of spiritual life, we may get confused. Ki, hey, scientist doesn't believe this. Hey, how it is possible? Because they'll confuse. Hey, how it is possible? What is this? It's all blind faith. There's nothing like that. How you can put hopper of food here and it reaches there miles away. But we should understand it is possible, because it's all Lord's creation, and everything is possible in Lord's creation. And now also we can see very logically, sound reaches from somewhere to here. Signal reaches, video signal reaches from somewhere. Why not this also? It's possible. So we should have firm faith. So we should have Shraddha. And the whole purpose of Shraddha here is basically to express our gratitude towards the our ancestors who has done so much good for us. And they might not have got a next body easily. They might, due to their karma, they might be in the sort of very embarrassing or awkward position where in this subtle body is only there, and they may not so they need that facilitation in terms of giving them all these resources like food and these things. So that's why whole purpose is given. So the if and descendant does all this, they get benefited and they become happy, otherwise they'll become angry. So it's not just sentimental thing, it is very important. Like if you don't satisfy our father, mother, and elderly people, they become angry, sometimes, right? So as simple as that. So here also, so we should do this Shraddha with a very faithful way. Okay, this is general Vedic system, and this is ritual and purpose behind it. And we should not disrespect that. We should do this. Okay. Now, Prabhupada's point is very important here. Vaishnava doesn't have to really get obliged by this. So what it means? So if we can, it means that basically it's not that we are disrespecting. Vaishnava is not disrespectful of demigods or any rituals. He is respected, and whenever it's required or possible, he will do it. It's not that he will not do it. There is an example. I was just trying to search out the example where even Prahlad Maharaj did Shraddha of Hiranyakashipu. Lord Vishnu, Lord extracted him. Nasya instructed him. Like I'm just trying to recall. Like, and there are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, and Advaita Acharya did. So there are, and even in day-to-day life also you can see. So it's not that we will not do, but what Prabhupada is explaining here is we are not obliged by this, provided we are very perfect Vaishnava. So there is some time for us to become perfect Vaishnava. So we should follow, we should utilize all these rituals in a Krishna conscious way. So every ritual Krishna conscious or devotee can use it to make everybody Krishna conscious. That's the whole purpose. Devotee see everything in Krishna conscious way. Be it ritual, be it any day-to-day life, be it his office life, be some so-called karma. He will see everything and try to do everything in Krishna conscious. That's the whole purpose. Krishna conscious is his top priority, and he worships our Lord as ultimate object. Anything which is useful to do all this, he will do, and in Krishna conscious. That's the whole position of the devotee. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. Yes, devotee is not obliged to do this because ultimate enjoyer is Lord Vishnu, Lord, and devotee is directly satisfying him by loving him, by offering everything what he has got. Not only rituals, not only this, he is offering everything. Kaya nivacha manisimnetva, pratyuti sabaha, like that. So he is offering everything. He is offering kaya, body, vacha, mind, manasa, mind. Vacha means words. Okay, swabhava, whatever is original subtle swabhava, he is behaving using that swabhava also to satisfy. Indriya, everything, buddhi, everything is using. So forget about ritual. He is offering everything to Lord. So he doesn't have to really get bothered about his rituals. That's the understanding we should have. Rather, he is above all this, but he does this wherever it's like. It's not that he will not follow this. He does this as a matter of duty, but ultimately everything is directed towards Lord, and he will keep Lord in mind as a final objective. Even though, suppose, for example, devotee is offering offering this thing, so he will make a nice preparation, make a prasad, offer it to Lord. So ultimately, first everything, every bhoga has to be offered to Lord. So even though we are doing this so-called ritual, we have to offer it to Lord first, make it as a prasad, and that can be further given to ancestors, where they will get benefited not only just getting food, which majority people do offer as a just food, but his is sanctified food, that is prasad, that is can be offered. So devotee will see every opportunity in this way and will offer the prasad too, and so where they can immediately get liberated, or they'll get benefit substantially, not by virtue of only this Vedic ritual. It's a real offering, because devotee offers prasad or all sort of anything, everything whatever he has got to others, not only ancestor, he offered to every friend. He is distributing prasad, he is distributing knowledge about Lord, knowledge about devotion to everybody. He is offering the prasad to everybody, ants, animals, whoever is along, colleagues, society, all street people, ancestors, relatives, everybody. That's so Prabhupada has given this facility to us, and he taught us how devotees, as a devotee, we should be compassionate. Even though we may not be perfect, but we should be at least compassionate, and we should try to distribute this in the form of prasad, in the form of book distribution, whatever it is possible. And that's why only on the occasion of Pitru Paksha. We should offer it to every time. All this prasad to whoever we come across. That's the whole purpose, and it was Prabhupada's mission to do this, right? So devotee will see this way. Devotee will offer the prasad to his ancestor, and that's so nothing can be better than that. It is much more higher level. It's transcendental level. If devotee is offering Krishna prasad to his ancestor, that's the best thing to do. So this is the way we should understand this, because Prabhupada has made it very crystal clear how to really, one more important Prabhupada mentioned here, where Lord Narasimha is telling to Prahlad Maharaj, when Prahlad Maharaj is, I'm just giving that reference, Prabhupada is mentioning very beautifully here. He brought that reference beautifully in this context. So when Hiranyakashipu was killed, and then Prahlad Maharaj worried, he's such a sinful demon, but he's my father. So he was very, showing gratitude, and he was trying to ensure that his father get proper destination, he doesn't go to hell. So then Lord Narasimha told that don't worry, you are such a exalted devotee, you are the best devotee. Now your 14 generations before and 40 generations afterward will get liberated. That Lord Narasimha is giving that assurance. So this is what Shastra means. We cannot understand it so-called by logic, but it's Lord's desire. So what Prabhupada making point is, we should not worry too much about rituals and all that, as long as we are actually fully in Krishna consciousness. Of course, it doesn't mean we should not follow, but our Krishna consciousness is made, and whatever comes under that Krishna conscious umbrella, we should do everything Krishna conscious way. That's the best thing to do. So, but we should not stick. We should not happen that we are too much worried about rituals, this, that, and then we are forgetting Krishna. Then it's a defeat. If we forget Krishna consciousness and just doing some ritual, that's the whole karma kanda. Then it is not very good thinking, or it's not very good destination. But if devotee is perfectly situated, is 14 generation below earlier and later also will get liberated, what can be best, offering to the ancestors? So best offering to ancestors is to become a devotee and advance it as much as possible with the mercy of senior Vaishnavas, Guru, and rest is taken care. That's the whole summary. So Bhagavatam is so beautiful. It's talking about Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda in one way, but ultimately it's telling us that no, it's all about devotion of Lord. Everything will be taken care. So this is what we need to understand. And Prabhupada is very merciful. He has made those purports and whole understanding so easy and crystal clear that we don't actually struggle to understand it. Where we struggle is to implement it or realize it, but at least understanding point he has made it very clear. So there's no confusion. Otherwise, in absence of proper parampara, like what we come from Prabhupada, there's a lot of confusion. People are just, they are just doing rituals and they don't know what is the purpose of it. Some people don't believe it, they just do it. And it's all sometimes waste of resource if they are not really understanding behind purpose behind it. But Prabhupada is so merciful, they are understanding the whole purpose of the everything, Upasana, Karma Kanda, Bhakti, Marga, and we are able to convert everything into Bhakti. That way path has been given, clearly led by Prabhupada. We have to just follow under the guidance of his disciples for the Guru. That is a summary. I will like to conclude here. I'll like to stop here, and this is what I wanted to share. And I will request Mataji's, Prabhuji's to further give their comments or questions. Vidura Prabhuji is not there today, but I was requesting him to give comment. But otherwise, we can discuss the any comments or questions further, and I'll try to answer whatever I know. Hare Krishna. Coincidentally, this is a Pitru Paksha going on, so I'm feeling very lucky, honored to talk about this shloka in Pitru Paksha. Just coincidence.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for nice class.
Hare Krishna.
And being this period Pitru Paksha, we got more information from your class. That will be very useful for everybody. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thanks. Hare
Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so if there are no comment questions, we will conclude the session here. So, Hare Krishna, thanks all devotees for joining the class and blessing me and strengthening me for giving this session.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, yeah.
Prabhu, can I ask a question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhu, like normally we offer to the pitras, like whatever the oblations what we do. Like when the how do we understand this? Because when a person leaves the body, they get another body, and how does the oblation go to that? How do you understand this, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, that's what I mentioned. We will not understand this exact process very technically because it's very subtle. But what we can understand by analogy is simple, Prabhuji. Suppose I am putting one WhatsApp message to you. I am doing something and you will get it. So you got a message, right? Now, what happens between is very, very subtle. It's a science, right? Let's say electronic thing, there are signals and then it goes there. So we can only understand by analogy, but we cannot understand technically because we don't have that sort of power to understand. It's very, see, material nature, Prakriti works in a very subtle way. It's beyond our capability in the current situation to understand everything very, very theoretically, or we cannot witness it because we have got limitation. Our Indriyas are very limited. But that is where Shastras come into picture. We have to only have faith on this, and we can have some simple logical analogies also, like the way I give example, what some message or mail goes there. So something happens here, it reaches there. It's a very subtle science. Ultimately, it's the 5 elements are there. Then there is subtle bodies there. It can happen. Like theoretically, that is the only way to understand. Yes, it can theoretically it's possible, and we can see it day to day happening. And best thing is to have faith in Shastra, but it works. So that is the only way. So what I just to summarize my answer, we will not understand it as it is how it is happening because we will not be able to see that process how it is happening. It's very high level science which we don't have capability to understand in the current scenario. But what we can understand by analogy, yes, it is possible. That's happening in your day-to-day life. In some other example, that's the only way I can take. That is what I will take it, Prabhuji, that way. Maybe we can have this question to some advanced duty also. Prabhuji is not there.
Prabhu, actually, see, this is I've heard that just like your karma, like when I leave this body. Yeah. But in the next body, I still get the benefits of the actions that I have done, right?
Yes.
So similarly, here these are all managed by the lieutenants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are so many demigods who manage that. Yes. So what is mentioned is when you offer an oblation to the forefathers, that we are offering it in the human this one, right? Now with the assumption we are in human form or whatever. So we offer that. So, but whatever form the person has taken, we do not know what is their past activities, what is their past karma, whether they are actually even born as a human being or whether they are born in some spiritual or in some higher planetary system or some lower planetary system, or as some animal or something which does not even eat any grains, like it could be a tiger.
Yeah.
We don't know what is their past karma. But when you are offering these oblations, which are a prasadam, basically what is this? You are offering this thing which is offered to the Lord. So it basically is a prasadam. So now that is converted into whatever form that person can actually accept. That is the job of the superintendents. So they do that and they actually give it to that jiva in whatever form they are. And as in that form, it is possible they are in a human or an elevated form, or they are in a bad state because of their past karma. But because of these oblations, they get good karma. This oblations is prasadam, and it is offered in a proper, a manner prescribed by the Lord. And when that is offered to that jiva, he gets a boost he or she gets a boost in whatever body they are there, and then that helps them, gives them that benefit, and therefore they can progress from that state even if they are born as an animal, right?
Yes.
So this is the concept actually.
Yes, Prabhu. That clarifies further, Prabhuji. Just to add one example, I mean, Prabhuji has clearly articulated it. Just to have supporting example. For example, if I have to send money to my relative in the other city, I will deposit some money in bank here, and he will get it there. It's not that physically whatever deposited physically goes there, but he gets that credit. So it's like a karma credit, what Prabhuji mentioned, and then they get translated in the whatever is suitable to them.
So this is a good one what you said. See, for example, if you are in US and you are sending it in dollars, in India I cannot use dollars,
Yes,
but it's converted into INR, Indian rupee, and then I can use it. The same thing, it will be converted into whatever form that jiva is in a position to use.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, I think that Prabhuji, is it does that like
Yes, Prabhuji. But still, what the question hangs in the mind is like, yes, as Prabhuji said, well, like maybe we don't know what exactly, what form they are, in the human form or animal form, we don't know. But how do we understand this karma? I didn't get that. I couldn't understand Prabhu saying that karma, whatever, because when the oblations what we gave, so what is the karma which we go to them, Prabhu? Because as per the karmic reactions, they are getting the body and other things.
No.
So how do you understand?
So we are not saying he will get karma by the oblations given to them. We are saying because of karma, the soul has taken possibly it has taken a birth somewhere else in some other form or human form, whatever form. This oblations is actually is prasadam. You see, this oblation is prasadam, and the prasadam will give benefit to the person if he is suffering from bad karma also. That by just taking prasadam, he is elevated. Like we know that, right? There are these examples when Ramanujacharya was there once in Srirangam. After he ate, he washed his hands in the pond there. And there were some small particles that were sticking to his hand, and that went into the water, and then these fishes there took that grain, whatever what came out of Ramanujacharya's hand, and immediately they transformed into their original constitutional body. That means they changed into a spiritual body, and from the river directly they raised up as very vibrant, very what you call effulgent personalities, and then they went up to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is something which is recorded in Ramanujacharya's history. So the point here is it is prasadam, and in this case Mahaprasadam, because a pure devotee. These are sometimes we can't visualize these things. So that means this is the power of the prasada, which is having the ability to neutralize your karma and give you better benefits, right? In that sense, when you are offering these oblations, when you are offering the Pitrupinda, which is basically offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore that the benefit of that prasadam, which is transformed in whatever form that other jiva is, it is going to him, and then he or she, wherever they are, they get that, and then they get benefit. Just like we say, right, when you chant Harinama, all your reactions are burnt up. Is it not? We have gone through these verses, like your karma is in different stages. It is in Putam. It is in the stage of seed. Like that, there are many stages. But what is said is when you chant the Harinam, all of that is burnt away. That means your karma is actually taken out of us when we are actually chanting. Similarly with prasadam, like that. So the person gets benefit and is able to be saved from his past karma. That is the point I was saying. Not that he will get karma by eating prasadam. Prasadam will relieve him from his karma. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so if there are no comments, questions further, any questions, comments further? Otherwise we can. Okay, Hare Krishna. Santara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Shri
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Thanks, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Mother. Hare.